Hi, I'm Carl, and I'm going to record this for you today. Um, I'm head of enterprise and commercial development at the faculty, and I'm also an agile coach and Scrum professional. And today we're going to talk about testing out a business idea. It's going to be quite quick because I'm on a free screen recorder, so it's only going to be 15 minutes. But if you do need to pick up on any of this to put in your module, your assignment, then please don't hesitate to contact me. That will be fine. Um, so the resources are in the module guide on Canvas, on the module week 9 on Canvas, and there's a few things in there that we can go through quickly. There's this one on idea shopping, which is about when you generate ideas, you want as many ideas as you can and then refine them down. So if you do that with a few friends, that's a good thing to do. The next thing to do, next bit is the value proposition canvas, which is about what the customer needs and how your product actually meets those needs, but we'll talk about that in a bit more detail. And then all of that comes into a business model canvas. This is a one-side, what's called a lean canvas, one-side lean canvas that gets all your business model onto one piece of paper. And then we've got some questions to assess your business model, and pest analysis worksheet if you need one, and an ideas board, which is where you can generate ideas. You can stick them all up there. If you've got any ideas, I can review them for you. That's a piece of free software called Padlet. So you just click on it and you can put your idea up, add any pictures, etc. And then I've got Canvasizer, which is, I'll show you in a bit, which is gives you that lean canvas but does it online and shows you how to do it. So once you've done that, you could post those up or send me a link or drop me a line if you need to. If you want to, that's fine. I'm happy to go through your business idea with you. Okay, so just quickly we'll go through this. So this is how does your business work. So the key part of that is having a strategy. You've got to have an idea of why you want to do things, what kind of structure you're going to have. But as this is probably going to be a one-person or two-person thing, you can sort of ignore that for now. But as you scale, you may want to do that. What processes do you need? And there's also an idea. How do you actually set up a business? And I'll drop a link into the modules to the link to the UK government. Government's website. Probably takes about 15 minutes to set up a business in the UK, which is pretty good. You need a bank account to do it, but other than that, you can set one up. Very, very easy, limited company. How are you going to reward yourself? What's your motivation? What's your personal motivation for doing this? And what you may have skills yourself, but what other people could add value to what you do. And you've got to remember the definition of entrepreneurship is leveraging resources that are beyond your control. So how can you get other people to help you? And the university has a lot of support for this. So there's the speed team, the people in that corridor by the library there. There's people in there that can put you on business startup courses and all sorts of things and put you in touch with grants, etc., to help you start a business. So it's worth a thought, worth a thinking about, especially in the current climate. So why do people start businesses? People start businesses not to make money generally. They start businesses because it's their passion. They want to add value. They want to solve people's problems. That's one of the main reasons. A lot of this, what you've got to think about is how you've got to maximize what you don't do, really. So a lot of people do too much. And a lot of businesses tend to focus on, if we could only sell more, if we could do more, if we could make more. Whereas in an agile way of looking at things, you're looking for opportunities to improve what you do already. And this can apply to anything you do. So you're looking to improve quality rather than increase quantity. There's quite a few wastes. So the idea of this is to detect and eliminate waste. So if you think about your average phone, it's got loads and loads of features on it. We often use probably about 20% of those, even if that. And so if you spent a lot of time making, we'll just do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, and people don't really need all those features. Waiting for things, if you've got any blockages, that's a waste. Handoff when you swap things from one person to another, that's a waste. Extra processes where we've got too many bits in the chain, too many things to do, if we can remove as many of those as possible. Partially done work, so you start doing something, you leave it, you think, well, I'll come back to that, and when you come back to that, you can't remember what it was. Switching tasks, if I had £1 for everyone said to me they were a multitasker, I'd be a millionaire. Multitasking, yes, you can multitask, but it's not very good. It's not a very good way of doing things, because you've got to switch all the time and you lose time in the switching. Defects, when you're writing an essay or an assignment, I do the same. I think, oh, well, I'll come back, I'll fill that reference later. And when you come back to it, you can't remember where it was, and it takes you twice as long to look for it. So fix it at the time, inspect and adapt, fix things as they occur. Otherwise, you just store up trouble. Common sense, but not many people actually do it. Another waste 8 is look for potential in everybody. Everybody's got some skill that's hidden, and we don't often utilize that skill. And I know psychology students, you're well aware of all of this. Knowledge scatter. So have you got stuff all over the place? Is it difficult to find things? So that's basically saying tidy up your workspace. Or in a large company, it's, do we know where that contract is? Do we know where our insurance documents are? Can we pull them all together quickly? And then wishful thinking, and that's the, if only I had 10k, if only I had a better lawnmower, if only I had XYZ. So all that stuff is working realities. What can you control? Only work on things that you can control and you've got influence over. So this is the ideation thing. We start off with lots of ideas, we look at all the things, and then we funnel them down into a flow and finally into the result, the product. So it's not like super complicated, but you've got to think about everything that's actually there for you to do. You've got to think about all of these factors for your business. So what I was going to ask you to do was create some ideas for a niche dating app. We've had some great ones in the past. We had one called Binge, which was for people who didn't really want to actually meet, but they wanted to meet someone to talk about Netflix series that they were watching that their current partners didn't really like, so they could talk about them in the book club. So I was going to get you to do some mock ideation around that, but it doesn't need to be around that. It could be around, online coaching in terms of psychology, or human resource analysis, or whatever you want to do, whatever your idea is. And that would be a good thing, just to ideate as many different things as you can with colleagues, and then come through to the best one that you think is useful. And to do that, once you've decided on an idea, we go to product vision. So people need to know why they're doing things, and why it's a good idea. So this is a product vision. Moore's templates and elevator pitch. There's lots of ways to do this. This is just one way. So who's it for? Who's the target customer? What age are they? What sex? What are their particular problems and issues? What do they want? It's the who statement. The product name. So you've got to think of a name for it. So in this case, TravelMate is a virtual travel agent that does something for people. So this is often couched in benefits, features and benefits, and particularly, how is it different? So it's unlike X, or it's unlike Y. So that's the key, the killer question really. So how is it different? What's it going to do that's different to something that's already in the market, or it might be new and unique. So our product is will do X. It will do something for you. This is the value proposition canvas that we saw earlier. So basically, you've got the customer on this side. What jobs does the customer want to do, and what are the pains in those jobs? What are their problems, and what are the gains? So how are you going to, in your product or service, how are you going to add gain to their needs, okay, and how are you going to solve their problems and their pains? So it's this balance between your product, how does it fit the needs and issues of the customer? How does it solve any problems for them? And then the next part, once you've decided that, is what's my business about? how am I going to get revenue or value? And you can have business objectives, which are usually around, selling product, satisfying the customer, adding value to their lives. And social objectives can be about impact. So what impact does your service have on people? Does it reduce the number of suicides? Does it, help people to be more resilient? So those kind of things. So it doesn't have to be a totally monetary and capitalist kind of thing. It can be a social enterprise, social innovation, etc. So from there, we move to creating a lean canvas. So a lean canvas has key partnerships, key activities, the value proposition, which we've just talked about. What kind of relationships do you want with your customers? Who are the people that you're trying to reach? It might be quite a niche market, or it might be a wide market, but you've got to think about, how do I reach each of those different segments? What channels? How do I communicate with them? Is it Instagram? Is it newspapers? Is it leaflets in a pub? No leaflets in a pub. No pubs at the moment. And then what resources do I need, etc. Questions to ask about the value proposition of a social enterprise. So this just runs through those. So is it about these various things? So it's more about impact than about the commercial aspects as well. Okay, so we'll just drop back to the lean canvas and have a look at that. So here we can see one in action. So this will walk you through it. So you just fill in who your key partners are, and this thing here, which I'll drop the link to in the screen, takes you through it. So who are your key partners? Who's going to work with you? What are the key activities? And you can just fill things in there. So key partners, my dog, my mum, just for example, things like that. So key activities, what are you going to do? Value propositions, why is it a good idea? How is this going to solve people's problems? Customer relationships, again, it tells you how that works, what happens there. So, for example, it gives you an example there. What type of relationship does each of our customer segments expect us to establish and maintain with them? How often do we contact them? How are they integrated with the rest of our business model? How costly are they? So if it's left-handed people in Australia, how are we going to how do we want to maintain that relationship? Which market do we want to look at? So where are they? Who are they? Customer segments. So what kind of people? Who are we creating value for? Who are our most important customers? How are we going to reach them? What are our key resources? So how are we going to maintain our revenue streams? And then our revenue streams themselves, are they a one-off purchase or do they repeat? Like Nespresso, you buy the machine and then you get one-time sales on the machine, and then you get sales on the coffee cup. So how does it work? If you're doing coaching, do you do something for free, then give them follow-up sessions in a paid model? How do you do that? Collaborating with your team, what's your cost structure? Who's going to do what? How much is that going to cost? Are there any fixed costs like materials, something to develop, or is it just time? So you've got that balance between time and stuff. So how much time you're going to spend, how much stuff you're going to have to buy, how you're going to get it to your customers. Have you got somewhere for people to buy the stuff? So there's a lot more we could do on this. But I think that's really about all I've got to say. If you want to work through some of those things, I'm sorry we can't have the face-to-face session. I would have got you to do some of these things. But anyway, you know where I am. And if you want to stay in touch, and if anybody wants to have a go at this, it seems a bit complicated, but if you work through it, it really isn't. It's very simple. And thanks very much for listening. Thank you.